I'm Lee Iridium. Hope everyone's all right. I'm all right because I've got Jam and Dom back. How you doing, guys?
Good, thank
Doing
you.
well,
Good to be back.
thank you. Been a
Man.
while.
It has.
Yeah,
It's been ages. And we're back for All Killer. And I'll tell you guys, I haven't told you, so I didn't want to upset you, but I've had some hate mail because we haven't been on. I've had
Yeah.
I've had like stacked up on my emails. Everyone's emailing me and phoning me and threatening letters that we haven't been on. So we are back. We're back. And we're back for 2010. So we're just about to start a new decade. So that's cool, isn't it? So
cool. It's good that we had a little break though, because we were really steamrolling towards the end of this thing. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
There's only like 12 more episodes or something. So
that is true. And I want to give a bit of a special shout out as well to the people that have obviously been waiting with bated breath. Many fans across the world, but also I want to give a big shout out. I don't know if you've noticed, we've had a guy called Todd Boyle who's just, I don't know when he subscribed, but he's been watching all of them. Poor bastard. So he started doing the lists as well. So
I noticed that.
And I thought,
what a masochist to go through all that. Jesus Christ.
And I noticed
that's some hours.
I thought he'd be fiddling it because that's a fucking painstaking thing, in it, you know, an hour and a half, some of our shows. But when he jumps from 10 tracks to 12, so you know he's watching. Do you know what I mean? Wow. So and we're lucky for him, he's not as fussy as me. He likes lots of different types of music. He probably likes what we all like, a bit of what we all like. So, you know, looking at his lists anyway. So check Todd's lists out because he's
we'll do.
Fucking hell.
I'll definitely go back. That's cool news.
Yeah, dedication for you, isn't it, mate? When you start.
Thanks, Todd.
So, All Killer, No Filler, Total Frustration. I hope I haven't forgotten the rules, but there's only a couple of rules. So, 2010 we're on. We can't repeat an album, so we can only have one album, like a song off an album on your list. We're going for 12. I am right, and we're on 12 at the moment. And also the track listing has to match the original track listing. So that's about all of the rules, I think. I mean, I've just told Jan I told Jan before you came on, Don, there's a bit of a theme running through mine today. You'll find out what it is as we go. So
all right.
Yeah, it's
are
quite cool.
Will I have to guess, or are you gonna?
No, you'll know as soon as I start going through my list, probably.
All right.
Well, not straight away, maybe later on you'll figure it out. But as it's 2010, I think that's Jam who goes first.
You got it.
So track one, we obviously take turns. Track one, all go track one, then track two, and so on and so forth. What you got then, Jam? Looking forward to this, mate. What you got?
Okay, right. So we're going to start with a band that I've mentioned before that I don't understand why they're so popular, but I don't hate them. I just don't really understand why they're so popular. That is Avenged Sevenfold and Nightmare, title track from the Nightmare album. And it is probably my favourite track that they've ever done. Epic. It's got epic sound to it. It's about 6 minutes long, so it's not an epic track, but brilliant. Opens like a nursery rhyme style, sort of nightmarish, as you can imagine by the title type of intro. Heavy, catchy, brilliant. Just I'm not a massive fan of Avenged Sevenfold. I say I really want to get into them. I just don't understand. I don't really get it. So there's a cat.
Here he is, all ready, all fucking ready. Look, didn't waste no time. Look, here we go. Yeah, I like that song. Very cool. I don't know if you ever saw any live footage of them when they played this song on that tour. Really quite creepy with that opening music, like you said, that sort of nursery rhyme. And when the lights came up, they had like a body hanging from the ceiling.
Cool.
Like very cool indeed. Quite theatrical, weren't they, at times as well? Yeah. Very maiden-y sort of thing. Very cool, mate.
But great track. Yeah, love it.
Yeah, I love that as well. Good one. Okay, Dom. Track one, mate.
Okay. My number one is Return to Form for one of our old favorites, Rat. This is off of the Infestation album, which was a big surprise to everyone, including me. Wasn't expecting much from this album, to be honest. After that self-titled one from the late 90s, that was pretty poor, by all accounts. But this album is great. I probably prefer it to Detonator as well. So just after those first four, this would be my next favorite. Track one is Eat Me Up Alive. Just an old school rap number. Second single off the album, so there's a music video for it as well. But yeah, fantastic. It's a shame they couldn't keep this going because this was the last album that they've done. Everyone knows, you know, about the breakup and two rats and all this kind of bullshit. They just got together and, you know, and made it happen again, then that would be all right. But I think that ship has maybe sailed. I don't know. But anyway, we have this album to go out on. It's a good one to go out on. I'm glad they did this and didn't go out on that self-titled yellow one from the 90s. So yeah, there you go. Rat Infestation, Eat Me Up Alive.
Yeah, man.
Cool.
I mean, it was like 1985 all over again, really, when it didn't sound any different to me. It's fucking brilliant. Absolutely superb.
Yeah.
Good choice.
I was
good
lucky enough
choice.
to I was lucky enough to go and see these on this tour and they played the Rescue Rooms in Nottingham, which is quite a small place, very tiny. I mean, you imagine Rock City, this is like half the size of Rock City, so it's quite a small place. Wow. But to see Rat in there and they're doing this tour is brilliant, and that's the only time I've ever got to see them, so and probably will be. So.
I mean, considering they didn't a lot of, I can't remember what members were in the band. I think there was a few missing on that, but it sounded like the band. It sounded like the original band to me.
Well, it was 3/5. It was Stephen and Warren DiNartini and Blotzer, which I think are the core. Robin obviously had died, and Juan Bruce, he didn't want to do it then, but then when everybody else left and then Stephen was doing Rat on his own, then Juan came back after years and years of being away. Who knows the status now, but yeah, very cool. They actually, on second guitar, they had Carlos Cavazo from Quiet Riot.
Done a good job, man. Really good.
There you go.
Very cool. No, very good. Excellent choice. Love the album. Okay, so I'm going to, we could call them new metal, I suppose. I don't really know. They're one of the bands that I've mentioned a few times before that have come out of that era that I still love, and that's Deftones. And the title track of probably one of my favorite albums, Diamond Eyes, opens up the album. It's really heavy. It's their sixth album. For me, it's the best song on the album as well. The chorus is just huge. There's a riff at the end so heavy, it's just like a fucking sledgehammer riff at the end as well. It's more like the Deftones, you know, the first couple of albums for me, a return to form a little bit, but a great song. Absolutely love it. Deftones, Diamond Eyes. I know there ain't that many Deftones fans probably watch this show, but I fucking love them. But
well,
there you
who
go.
knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
That's my track one.
Good that you still like them 6 albums down the line. I mean, that kind of means it.
And,
a lot of those bands you probably hadn't listened to by their 6th album that you liked the first 1 or 2.
True.
So that's
true. Especially out of that period of the new metal period, if you like. There was a lot of bands I liked back then when I was younger, when that first was on the scene.
Yeah.
And I loved them. That was all I listened to for a little while. And then they all drifted away apart from Deftones. So they must have something special that I like. So there you go. If you want to call them new metal, you probably don't. Who gives a fuck what they're called? They were in that scene, if you know what I mean. So
yeah.
Okay. Track 2, guys. What you got in, Jan?
Okay, I'm going to actually the band I'm going to see next live in May, the 4th of May or something like that. Yeah, Star Wars Day. And that is Halloween, and a track title that Don would like. It's called Are You Metal? He likes the rock and metal in the title, from the Seven Sinners album. I say return to form. Halloween have never really strayed too far away from originality, apart from on that stupid pig Bubbles Go Ape and Chameleon rubbish. But, you know, it was a bit of a return to form. Andy Darris is obviously singing on this album. This is obviously 10 years ago, 12 years ago, as it goes. But really good album. There's some great songs. Where the Sinners Go is a great song as well. Are You Metal's a great song. If you want to get back into Halloween again and you want to, obviously it's not got Kiski singing, but it's still a great album. If you want to get back into Halloween, I'd suggest you perhaps start with this one. Seven Sinners, Where the Sinners Go. Fast song, lots heavy on the keyboards, but it's power metal, isn't it? So it's always going to be, but it's still heavy, still fast, catchy, brilliant. I mean, yeah, Lee'd like this as well. It's a great song. If you've never heard it, Are You Metal by Halloween.
I like the title for a start.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, great one,
you
mate.
can't get much more metal than that.
No, you can't. Excellent. What you got in, Dom? You got anything more metal than that?
No, probably less metal, to be honest. But good hard rock album, I'll tell you that. This is a band called The Damn Things, which is Scott Ian from Anthrax and Keith Buckley from Every Time I Die, which is another one of my favorite bands. So you got 2 members of Every Time I Die, 2 members of Anthrax, and 2 members of Fall Out Boy, of all bands. But this is a great hard rock album. They have 2 albums. The song I picked is called Bad Blood, which is my favorite. Just love it. Just great riff. The name of the album is Iconoclast. Ironoclast. Sorry. Their style is really hard to pin down, but it's not complicated. It's just coming from all sorts of different things. But I would just say it's just hard rock. I'd say there's some Thin Lizzy influences as far as the guitar work's concerned. Keith, and Every Time I Die, he does a lot of screaming and a bit of clean singing. On this band, it's just clean all the way through, and I love the guy's voice. So yeah, this was a great surprise side project. And then 10 years later, they had a second record. Nobody expected anything else after this first album, but they went ahead and did it. So
very cool.
There you go. The Damn Things. If you haven't heard them,
cool, man. Thanks very much. I think this is the first visit to Sweden we're going to do so far.
Okay.
You haven't mentioned this Swedish band yet. No, it won't be the last. So good, actually, because this band are going to bring an album out this year, which at the moment, a couple of songs I've heard of it sound brilliant. But Crash Diet. So they brought out the Generation Wild album. This is actually the first album I heard of theirs as well. I think a lot of people consider the Generation Wild as their best album still. I don't know about that. I like quite a few of their other albums, but it's fucking brilliant anyway. It's the first track proper, because I think there was like a little intro thing at the beginning of this album. That was just the first track. So the second track was Armageddon, which is a real rocker. Obviously, they're sort of like a bit sleazy, Crash Diet. Like I said, it's the third album, quite a heavy song in that, if you want to call it hair, glam, metal, whatever you want to call it. But they're a great band. Yeah, melodic, hard rock, whatever it is. Yep. But I know they've had a lot of bad luck, this band. Someone messaged me about all the bad luck they've had. Their singer died, and they've had loads of shit going on, and things happen at the wrong time. But hopefully this year, the couple of songs I've heard, probably the best I've heard of them. They're my favourite songs I've heard of them so far. So looks like a really good album coming out later this year. So Crash Diet, Armageddon from Generation Wild. What a great track. There you go.
Cool.
Okay, track 3.
All right, track 3. Right, so from Sweden to rainy Wales. A bit of metalcore for us. Bullet for My Valentine from the album Fever, which is arguably their last good album. They've obviously changed the sound recently. Well, not recently. A couple of albums before, they've sort of gone back to how they were before. But yeah, they lost a lot of fans. They've gone from being one of the biggest bands in Britain to metal bands, obviously, to sort of throwing it all away, really. But anyway, this is from Fever album. It's The Last Fight. What a cracking song this is. Heavy, fast, but melodic. I mean, even Lee like this, I think, if you've not heard it, fucking brilliant. It's just a heavy, fast bullet song like they were on the first couple of albums, but without there's no screaming, there's no shouting, it's proper clean vocals and all that, but it's brilliant. It was a single, I think, from the album as well. I say it's not that metalcore, it's just a metal song, really, and it's great. If you've not heard it, it's worth checking out.
Cool. I mean, I know I like the music on metal, like metalcore and stuff. The music is fantastic, with me and vocals. So if it's got clean vocals, I might like it. So,
you like this song?
It's the only thing I don't usually like about metalcore. I think the music's just fucking amazing. Yeah, very cool. Cheers, mate. Right, what you got in, Don?
Okay, I've got the debut album from Ghost, which people either like or they hate. The song's called Ritual, and the first album was called Opus Eponymous. I'll admit I kind of slept on Ghost for a while. When they first came out, just the label they were on and just the type of people that were listening to Ghost, I just thought it was almost like not a comedy thing. I mean, not like Darkness, but thought they're kind of taking the piss out of metal a little bit. And I don't know, those type of bands don't really do it for me, but I was wrong. I got into them, I think maybe third album or something, finally listened to them properly. And then I went back and they're great. You know, they've got so many, nothing sounds like them, you know, they are completely original in this era. I hear a lot of Blue Oyster Cult in them. I hear, you know, there's pop influences in the songwriting, but then it's put through like a metal or a hard rock, you know, vibe. Yeah, I mean, I dig it. So yeah, first album from Ghost. A lot of people got into this at the time. I wasn't one of them, but I'll say I was wrong, and I should have probably, but there you go.
You know what? I think I might have to do what you've done back then, because I've sort of left them alone for some reason. I don't know why I have, but I heard loads of good things about this new album, and I haven't heard one song off it.
Little Sunshine, what a cracking song! The new song.
Yeah, I'm thinking that I should be more open anyway. So I need to be. It's probably the same sort of thing as you, Dom, that put me off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's almost the way they look. And I've sort of heard snippets, not on this new album, but older bits. And it's so shouldn't sound like that. It sort of put me off. Does that make any sense? They look like they should be like doing death metal or something, and then they sound like really catchy 80s stuff sometimes.
A lot of hard rock, yeah.
So I shouldn't.
Well, it's got a lot of keyboards in it, like not keyboards, sorry, organs in it, isn't it? In the albums.
Yeah.
So
I got on board with the early ones. I was re-listening to this album, and they've kind of dropped it now, but God, their lyrics are completely satanic. They're everything's about the devil, and you know, this is called Ritual, you know. It's I mean, they're probably one of the bands, besides all the black metal and stuff, that, you know, was openly writing songs about Satan and worshiping him and stuff, you know. But then but then the music is this kind of melodic, you know, kind of stuff. It's crazy, but it really works.
I think I will. I think I'm gonna. I mean, I didn't want to just, because I've been sort of leaving them for a while. I didn't want it, when the album first came out, I didn't want it to sound like I'm just doing it, because you can get, as soon as you do anything ghost wise, you probably get millions of views on your channel. I didn't want it to really look like I just done it because I've been sort of leaving them alone. So perhaps now it's all died down, I might do a review of the album or something.
I perhaps wouldn't start with the first album.
Who the fuck are you? You don't know anything about ghosts.
Well, exactly. And if I don't like it, I probably will be able to say I don't like it because they're so fucking popular, aren't they?
Yeah.
So it's not like I'll be hurting.
You normally don't post videos of things you don't like.
Only I'll say if I don't like it, if they're so fucking like popular that it doesn't matter what I say. I won't do it to new bands.
Exactly.
So if I don't like it, I'll fucking say it. There you go. There you go. And then I'll get a load of grief from all the ghost fans. There you go. All right. Cool. Is it me now?
Yeah,
isn't it? Okay. So this is a new era for this band. I probably prefer this era of this band, and I don't know if you agree. You won't agree with this, Dom. I don't think. So Accept brought out the album, the first album with Mark Tornillo, Blood of the Nations, and I think it's fucking brilliant. I think it's an absolute stormer of an album, really heavy. This song itself is called The Abyss. It's a brilliant comeback album. I don't know how many years it was like until this album came out before the last one with Udo. I'm not sure. But it is their 12th
Would have
album.
been about probably 13 or 14 years, I think.
Wow. So it is a proper comeback album then. It's 13, 14 years. So 12th album. This one's sort of medium paced, epic, heavy track, and they've got quite a few of them on there on every Mark Tornillo album, like since he's joined. But I love this song. I love this album. It's not my favorite album actually with Mark Tornillo, but it's close. Stormer of an album. I mean, it's really put them back on the map. I don't know if now, I know it's not now, but whether they need to look at something different now. I think it's gone a little bit too samey now with their albums. I think they're getting a bit too safe at the moment, but this sounded sort of dangerous and fresh because it was the new singer, and it's a fucking great album. So if you haven't listened to it, because Udo ain't in it, I suggest you listen to it. I mean, he's got that Udo sort of thing to his voice as well. He sounds a little bit Bon Scotty at times, but a bit like Udo did as well. But no, it's a great song. The Abyss off of Blood of the Nations. A lot of people's favourite album with Mark Tornillo, but not quite mine, but great album nonetheless. There you go. That's my track 3. Cool. Okay, what you got then, Jam?
Yeah. Okay, we're going to something you'll like, Lee. Stone Sour from Audio Secrecy. Great album. Probably might be the best actually for me. I think probably my favourite album. Could have picked a few songs from this, but obviously track 4, Say You'll Haunt Me, single. Great track, catchy, heavy. You know, it's just brilliant song. You know, Mission Statement's a great song. Hesitate, a great ballad on it as well. It's a great album. And obviously nothing like Slipknot whatsoever. Anybody doesn't know, it's Stone Sour, a completely different band, rock, metal band. And Say You'll Haunt Me is one of their typical catchy, great vocals from Corey Taylor, obviously. So, great song.
Great voice and a fucking wide neck as well while he's at it.
He has got a wide neck, yeah.
Not that matters, but yeah, a very big neck.
Wind that neck in.
He doesn't do that either. He fucking doesn't do that either. But, great choice, mate. Okay, Don, what you got, mate?
Okay, it's my turn for Crash Diet, Generation Wild.
Ooh, yeah.
This is the title track.
Oh,
It was the single off the album as well. It was their third album, as you say, but it's their first with their newest singer, which is called Simon Cruz. So I think maybe it's the first one I ever heard as well. So I'm the same as you. I think the new singer kind of just pushed them to another level. It really is a great album. There were multiple choices I could have made on this album, but I went with the big song off of it. Just great stuff, great melodic 80s influenced metal. Yeah, it's fantastic. But it's still got, we say that, but it doesn't sound dated to me, at least.
No.
No. It still sounds fresh. I mean, it's definitely influenced by all that stuff, absolutely. And if you love, if you pine for that kind of 80s kind of hard rock, this is so great. But it doesn't sound like you're listening to an album from 1985. But it sounds like it belongs in this time. So fantastic. Crash Diet.
They definitely had a little bit of the next song is that I'm going to choose, the next band as well. They definitely had a bit of, I would say, Def Leppard influence as well.
Sure.
But definitely not probably more the early Def Leppard sort of, you're talking High and Dry, maybe Pyromania a little bit, but
all the good stuff.
All the good stuff. Yeah, completely right there.
They're not doing 2 steps behind or whatever.
no, exactly.
Or the new single, which you absolutely loved.
Oh,
yeah. I've got a bit of grief over that as well from some Def Leppard fans, but there you go.
It is quite catchy, but it is growing on me a bit, but it is fucking awful.
But there's a lot of things that are catchy. It doesn't make them fucking good, does it? Look at Dance Monkey,
Barbie
Dance
Girl
Monkey.
That catchy, but you don't fucking hear it.
My missus says she says some song called Dance Monkey's good in the chart a few years ago, and that's fucking terrible. It's still catchy though. It makes me feel fucking sick when I'm listening to it, but it don't make it good. Anyway, okay, so I'm going to Sweden again.
Is that your team, Sweden?
Yeah, no, it ain't actually. I'm going to Crazy Licks though. So I always put Crazy Licks and Crash Diet. I always think of them together. They sort of started around about the same time, and this is the second album from them. It's a song called Blame It on Love, which is my favorite song from the New Religion album. A lot of people, again, with this, they say it's their best album.
Yeah,
Crazy Licks' best album. I don't know. I'm not really sure. I like some of the later stuff, but probably definitely my favorite track on the album. I thought this song, because I think I had it on a download when I first heard it, and I didn't have the titles of the tracks, and it says like New Religion in it, and I thought this song was called New Religion for ages until I found out it's called Blame It on Love. But it is almost this one as well. So loads of Def Leppard influence in it. the good Def Leppard influence. Absolutely brilliant track. Crazy licks. Blame It on Love. That's my track 4.
Cool.
Okay, track 5.
Okay. I've got a band that you two don't like, I don't think. And I've gone off.
Come on, yes.
I've gone off them a bit since they did Sound of Silence, and that's disturbed. I can see why people don't like his vocal style. I mean, I think it's quite unique. There's something a bit different about him, but I quite liked the first few albums, I must admit. I guess are they new metal? Don't know. Maybe, possibly, I guess. But from the album side, I've gone for Another Way to Die. Yeah, so it's good. It's probably the last of their good albums. Slow intro, really good riff. They are a good band. I mean, yeah, I've gone off them a bit, but I really, they're quite good live as well. The singer's a bit of a knobhead, but you know, go on.
It's really weird. This band, Disturbed. I remember a time when, because I used to read Kerrang quite a bit. You know, I mean, back in the day, and I remember when they first came out, that's quite popular. Then they really like got hammered in the press for being shit for a long time, and now it's like they've got this resurgence where they're like the best thing ever again. It's really strange, but I don't know if they are. I don't know if their music's changed that much because I don't listen to them. But
yeah,
it's, you know, something's happened where they're popular again. They're
well,
massive
I mean,
now,
in
aren't they,
singing,
really?
Sound of Silence is not my favourite song in the world, but his voice is very good on it. I must admit, you can't really fault him, considering you think he does the vocal effect type, all the stuff he does normally. It was quite a surprise to do something like that. But yeah, I mean, I don't mind him. I don't mind saying I don't like him. I don't mind saying I like Five Finger Death Punch. And I'm quite happy to say I don't like Avenged Sevenfold particularly. So, you know, I don't really care.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Good one, mate. What you got then, Dom?
I think Lee's wife is a big fan of Sound of Silence by Disturbed, isn't she?
She fucking loves that song, yes.
Well, yeah.
She does. She loves that song.
That's who it was made for.
She ain't got very good taste, though. That's the problem. Only in men. She's got good taste in men. That's about it.
I was going to say, no, that's
Anyway.
All right. Number 5 for me is the mighty Armored Saint.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Thank goodness
John
that
Bush.
they came back and started making records again. This is obviously after John had been through the Anthrax machine, and now they're back with Belladonna by this point, and the original lineup, you know, reunited and stuff. So Armored Saint, the album was called La Raza, and the song's called Chilled. It's their 6th album overall. This is the entire lineup of the Symbol of Salvation album. So everybody got back together. Fantastic stuff. And this is their 8-year hiatus. So fantastic to have them back. This is a really strong album. Bush, love his vocals. They kind of carried on, you know, the first few Armored Saint albums were very kind of your traditional metal. But by Symbol of Salvation, they had kind of changed a little bit and just became more of a hard rock band, I would say. Heavy, but you know, they weren't like Mecca, you know. So this just carries on from that kind of thing, and a lot of people like Symbol of Salvation. I think it's a great record as well. It was kind of a rebirth, and then they broke it up. But it's nice that they're back together making records. They had another one, 2 years back, so they're still periodically making new music, but good to have them. Armored Saint.
So I'll take it when John Bush left to go to Anthrax, they didn't do anything with anyone else.
No.
No. We did.
Well, they were in a tough position because before Symbol of Salvation, well, kind of during the recording, their main guy, the guitar player, oh man, was it Dave Pritchard? Is that his name? He died, and he was kind of like the leader of the band. So they went through with Symbol of Salvation, and they kind of got a new fan base and stuff, but I think it was still a bit rough for them. Yeah, and then when the call came from Anthrax, I think that was just the final nail in the coffin. But yeah. But it's good that they're back.
Cool. Okay, mate. Cool. Good one. Okay, my track 5, Master Plan with Yawny. Yawny Londy's back.
Yawny Londy's back.
So this is actually my favourite Master Plan album. It's Time to Be King is the name of the album. Got a bit hammered for some reason. like Master Plan fans didn't think it was any good. I think it's fucking excellent from start to finish. I love this album. This song's called Lonely Winds of War. Actually came on in the car as I was on my way back from the beach today. So yeah, I know. I fucking love this album. Love this song. It's the fourth album. Actually, Yawny went away on the third album. Someone else came in, and then he came back for this one, and he hasn't been back since, which is a shame. But for me, their best album. I could literally choose any song off of this album, but this is a fucking cracker of a song. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Master Plan, Lonely Winds of War. If you haven't heard Yawn Londe outside of his solo stuff, most people do though, don't they? He does so much. It's just like, you got to listen to this song. It is fucking excellent. It's epic. Master Plan, Lonely Winds of War. There you go. With the mighty Yawny.
Yes.
Okay, Jam, what you got, mate? Track 6.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going for Guitar Wizard. I'm going for Slash with his debut solo album, I guess, apart from Snake Pit. Obviously, this is different. And for people who don't know, this is when he had various guest vocals on each song. And there's loads of songs. I mean, there's actual loads of bonus songs. If you look into it, I think it's about 16 to 18 songs. Not on obviously all versions, but there was loads of different ones. Great album. I really enjoyed it. Some of the vocals are great on it. Ghost is a great song with Ian Astbury singing from Cult. Back from Cali, Miles Kennedy. Dr. Alibi with Lemmy. These are all ones obviously earlier than I'm talking about, so no one's going to have these. Starlight with Miles again. And it's actually how I got into Miles Kennedy. Because I didn't know who he was. I loved the songs. And it's like, who the hell's Miles Kennedy? And I looked up, Walter Bridge. Oh, right. So then I got into it. Yeah, I thought, this is Walter Bridge. And that's how I got into him. Anyway, track 6 is By the Sword with vocals from Wolf Mothers, Andrew Stockdale. Like I say, I probably could have had pretty much any track, like Lee on the last one, I could have had any song off this album pretty much. I probably would have gone with the Miles one possibly, but I do like this song. It's a slower one. It's not a ballad, but it's a slower one. I mean, I just like Andrew Stockdale's vocals. They're a bit different, and it's great, and it's a really good song. I say it's a slower song, but great guitars in it, of course, because it's Slash. So there you go. If you haven't heard it, check it out.
Yeah, this pissed me off a little bit, this album. It only pissed me off because selfish me didn't want Miles Kennedy going to Slash. I just think it's just, I think he's stretched himself too thin with all the stuff he's been doing, and I think it's affected Alter Bridge a little bit for me. That's just my opinion, by the way. You know, I get a lot of stick for that. A lot of people think that Miles Kennedy Slash is the best thing that Miles Kennedy is in, you know, but part of his vocals as well, I think he's just, I don't know, I think his vocals have been affected a little bit as well. He's got a brilliant vocal, by the way, but I think he started to get in that where he started touring with Slash and doing Guns N' Roses songs. He almost was after this album, and then maybe when he started touring, because he went and done a full album with him, and then he literally, oh, the cat's gonna hump my missus's pajamas. Do it over there. He literally started doing the Axl whine a little bit, even with Alter Bridge, and he changed his vocal. And I think it might have just been habit, where he's been singing Guns N' Roses fucking songs, and then going into the band. I noticed an almost instant change from I think it was Blackbird on the Alter Bridge 3 tour, which would have been around at this time as well. His vocals started to change a little bit, started to do the whine, where, you know, and I think he's got better now. I think he's realized, he might have looked back at some of his footage or something and thought, oh fucking hell, I'm doing that fucking Axl Rose shit with my voice, because he's so much he's so much better than fucking Axl Rose has ever been. He didn't need to do that shit. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. It's only my opinion. That takes, I get a lot of stick for that. But it's true though. My opinion's right. Anyway, I'm really interested because Alter Bridge got another album out this year, so I'm really interested to see what direction they go in now. It's going to be real interesting in the year for them. But no,
I
cool.
predict you'll be disappointed because you love them so much, and nothing's going to compare to their like the ones that you love.
Maybe, but they're rightfully so. They shouldn't stand still with music. They shouldn't carry on doing the same thing, you know.
Yes.
But sometimes when you stray so far from the original stuff, sometimes you need to have that album where you go back sometimes and just do a smasher of an album that sort of takes you back to your roots. Maybe that's what I'm hoping for.
Well, I think the last best album they did was actually this year, which I'm sure we might come on to at some point.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah. I probably shot my load a bit too quick there.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the first time.
God, we're gonna have to hear more about Alter Bridge now. Jesus Christ! You just spent 15 minutes on them, and now we're gonna have 2 more picks.
Sorry about that. Yes. Anyway, where were we? Oh,
Me.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, mate. Track 6, mate.
Yeah.
What you got?
Okay, 6 is Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah.
This is such an underrated album. I think it's the most underrated album in his catalog. It's called Scream. It's got the mighty Gus G on guitar. It was so refreshing after years. I mean, when Zach first came in, he was great, you know, first couple of records. But after a while, that wow, you know, it all every, you know, Osmosis and Black Rain and, you know, all those albums, whatever. This came in. And, you know, Gus G's a great guitar player, very, you know, just very traditional metal. And I just love it. And for some reason, it just didn't connect with people. They either didn't listen to it or listen to it once or twice and thought, oh, it's okay, but it's just more of the same or whatever. I really liked it. I thought the songwriting was better than it had been for a while. Yeah, I just thought I thought it was destined for greatness, but it just never really picked up. I also think the problem is that when he did a tour for this, I think they only played 1 song off it. Like they didn't even push it at all. You know, it's all about you know, playing the classics and stuff. And you know, we're from a time in the 80s, you know, and early 90s where if a band had a new record, you'd hear at least half the record, you know, you'd have half the album in a live environment, you know. That's kind of how you got into it. That's the whole point of touring, is to push your, you know, recent
new album. Yeah.
But by this point, Ozzy, you know, he was more a heritage actor, however you want to call it. So, you know, he was playing Iron Man for the, you know, 5 millionth time, but couldn't be bothered to play anything off this new great record he had. So I don't know. It's one of those catch-22s, but I really like it. And a bit of trivia: it's the first album since Ultimate Sin to use the classic Ozzy Osbourne logo. From the first 4 albums. He kind of diverted and had like little spikes on it and stuff for some. But this was the first album that actually had that classic Ozzy from the first couple. So just a bit of trivia.
Very cool. No,
there you go. Yeah, Ozzy Crucify off of Scream, which was his 11th album.
Cool.
Cheers, mate. Thank you very much. I'm going to an album that's been mentioned already. It's actually Jam on his first song. So Avenged Sevenfold. I had to get this in. It's probably my favorite song from them, actually. It's called So Far Away. It's a ballad. It's very sad. It's very sad indeed, because it's a tribute to the drummer who died just a little while beforehand. The Rev. Jimmy the Rev Sullivan. So I mean, a really sad song, really pulls at the heartstrings for sure, especially when you know what it's about as well. But it is very emotional anyway. I saw them at Download. Jamp was probably there a few years ago, and you know, they played this song and they had some old footage of the drummer, and it was really sad. And I absolutely love the song. It's my favorite Avenged Sevenfold album as well, Nightmare. I think it's fucking excellent all the way through, but So Far Away is just such a fucking excellent ballad. It's really sad. You know, it's just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So that's my number 6, Avenged Sevenfold, So Far Away.
Cool.
There you go. Okay. Track 7.
Okay, I'm going to bridge a couple of things we just been, not bridge, pardon the pun, bridge a couple of things we've just been talking about. I've got a ballad, and it's from Alter Bridge, which we were just discussing. So it's from AB3, and it's Wonderful Life, which is...
it's a good song. Yeah.
It's a good song. I mean, I would have picked other songs off AB3 probably, because I say it's probably my favourite Alter Bridge album, arguably. Slip Into the Void, Isolation, Ghost of Days Gone By, great songs. I wouldn't have necessarily picked a ballad, but, we know how this works. It was number 7. I had to fill something in there. And Wonderful Life, it's a good song, very bit, obviously, what's the word? It's a ballad, it's a bit soft and all that, but it's a great song, good vocal performance from Miles, and one of the better ballads, I guess you could say. But I wouldn't necessarily pick it, as I said, but cool. It's a good song.
Great song, mate. Especially when you see him doing it fucking acoustic in the, when you go and see him, it's absolutely superb. So good one, mate. Well, you got in, Dom. That weren't too long on Alter Bridge, which is good. You got me to come yet, though. You got me to come yet, though.
More to come. Okay, my number 7 goes out to my good friend Lee Spencer.
Oh,
this is Y&T.
Ooh, fucking come on, Dom. Did you do this on purpose? Do you actually like this, or did you just?
I do like this. This came out. This came on Frontiers Records.
Yeah.
So I kind of gave a little listen to it, obviously, because Frontiers can, the ratio of good records to bad records is pretty high. I mean, they don't release a lot of crap. So, so when this came out, I was like, all right. Plus, I kind of went back and I've listened to some of the older records as well, but this is like the newer sounding Y&T. This is called I'm Coming Home, which at the time I didn't know was the single, but in research for this, there's a video for this and everything. So good song. It's their 12th album, but it's the last one they've done. It's too bad because these bands need to be flexing their songwriting muscles, I think.
A lot of people are going on at him, as you would do after 12 years, about new material, and he's just when you sometimes get hints that there fucking ain't. He's just touring a lot but no new music. So you can understand.
Well, unfortunately, I think it's one of those situations where we were talking about Ozzy, if you go see him live, people just want to hear the songs that they know from all the classic albums. So it's probably tough, out there. But anyway, the album's called Face Melter. As I said, it was the first for 20 years. 13 years since their last album. So 13-year gap between, was it Endangered Species? Was that the one before this?
I think so, yeah.
So 13 years between here, and now we're at another 12. So it's like,
perhaps next year then.
Maybe. I thought getting signed to Frontiers, it would really kind of give them a new boost and probably a new record every couple of years, and they'd be back on track here. But for one reason, it didn't happen. And this is the last to feature Phil Kennemore, who died as well. So he was long-serving bass player. So maybe that's bummed him out. I don't know. I mean, obviously it has, but maybe that's affected songwriting. I don't know. But anyway, here you go. Y&T, one of Lee's favorites. He always says no one ever picks Y&T. So here you go.
Well, I picked it as well. I've got it as well.
Cool.
Come on.
What a clash.
It's
really? I'm Coming Home. That's the one you picked?
That's the one I picked. I think it's the best song on the album.
Man.
It's got shades of an old song of theirs that you might not know it because I don't know how much you delved into the Y&T catalogue, but it was on Black Tiger. It's called Forever, one of their biggest tunes, actually. They'll probably play it live now. But
I think you picked that on a previous show.
I probably did. It's got a similar structure to it, sort of sound that sounds, it's not exactly the same, but it's almost like they paid homage to that song a little bit. You know what I mean? It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Dom's frozen in my screen.
Oh yeah. Oh, he's back.
Oh, there he is. You just
having a big drink.
You was having a water and he was like that. I thought he's either he's choking to death or he's fucking just frozen. So no,
that's
you're back.
That's the new profile pic I'm sure that you're going to pick for this video is me.
You've been advertising. Are you advertising? What was on that water? I bet he's fucking doing some sponsorship, and he, you dodgy. Nah, it's a brilliant song. Thanks so much, Dom. I fucking love you, man. I really do.
I'm here for you, man. I always check it.
Excellent. I won't say no more about it. It's a brilliant song. There you go. Y&T. Excellent. Track 8. We got in, Jam.
I've got YMT. No, I haven't really. No. I'm going for probably the heaviest song on my list, actually. A great band called, and unfortunately no more, is the Murder Dolls. For those who don't know, it's Joey Jordison, obviously on drums. I think he plays guitar actually as well. Obviously not live, doesn't do both, I think. And Wednesday 13 is the singer, who's obviously quite famous in his own right. Sort of horror, punky, metal-y. I mean, this album, Women and Children Last, they only did 2 albums. This is their last one, obviously, because he's dead, unfortunately. So heavy. It's sort of like Slipknot-esque, I'd say. But the singing's a lot cleaner, if you like. So you'd like it if you haven't heard it. Heavy, fast, brilliant, great songs, horror themed, obviously, being the Murder Dolls. This song, the album's Women, Children Last. My Dark Place Alone is a cracking song. This is the track 8, by the way. Chapel of Blood's on this album as well. Great album. I saw him live, luckily, a couple of times. Saw him in Sheffield in a small venue, so it was quite mad seeing Joey Jordison on the drums when there's sort of 150, 200 people there. I think they played Download as well. If they did, I did see him definitely. But catchy song, My Dark Place Alone. I think it was one of the singles they released off it. But yeah, if you've never heard this album, you'd love it, I reckon. And the first album's not quite as heavy, I don't think, but I think the second album's the best one, definitely. So
I certainly love that album title. It's hilarious.
Yeah, Women, Children Last. Yeah,
yeah,
Women, Children Laugh.
That is fucking good. Yeah, I do love that. That is brilliant. Cheers, Jam. Excellent one, mate. What you got then, Dom? Track 8.
I got another kind of surprise. This is a band that's been around forever and ever. There's periods of them I like and periods of them I don't like at all. And it's a female singer as well.
Oh, this wow.
This is Heart from their album Red Velvet Car. Name of the song is Death Valley. It's their 14th album. I used to love Heart in the 70s and very early 80s. And then they, we all know what happened. They started doing all the big ballads and big hair and big shoulder pads and everything.
Quite like them ones. I quite like them songs, actually. Those are all right. These Dreams.
Listen, that's
and
cool,
all that.
man. But for me, it's Magic Man and Barracuda and
Alone, was that one of those?
Alone, I like that one there. It's good somong. That.
Yeah. That's the antithesis of what I'm talking about, of what happened to this band. They used to be like they used to be a proper hard rock band. You know what I mean? They were, kind of Zeppelin-y. And so the reason I picked this is because they're back to doing that kind of thing. There's a lot of acoustic stuff on here. This has a real kind of Zeppelin-y riff. It sounds nothing like Who Will You Run To or whatever those songs are. So they've gone back to basics and back to the first 10 years of their career. So good stuff, really good stuff. Obviously didn't sell because they're not really doing that type of thing anymore. And again, it's another band where, if you go see them live, you want to hear all the hits and don't necessarily want to sit through new music. But this was a good record, and it was so nice to hear them just kind of back to kind of a stripped down, just a hard rock band, without all the gloss and the ballads. So there you go, Heart.
Cool. Thanks, mate. Okay, my track 8, I'm going to Avantasia. So this is Tobias Sammet. I think that's how you pronounce his name. This is almost like we've mentioned this before, it's like a metal opera type thing. And some of the songs are a little bit Halloween-esque, I'll say, some of the fast ones, but then you get some slowed down into sort of some medium pace ones as well. This one, it's weird. They brought out 2 albums on this same year. So it's like they go away for a while and then they bring out 2 albums in 1 year. And probably this might be my favorite album of theirs. It's called Wicked Symphony, the album. The track's called Forever Is a Long Time. It's got Yorny Londe on it.
Oh, there you go.
He's back.
He's back. Yorny Londe is on it, guesting with Tobias Sammet. I just love Yorny, man. Simple as that. So I think when he sings on them albums, they're probably my favorite songs as well. So he's one of these vocalists, man, that just, I don't know, they just elevate. He just elevates anything he sings on. So there you go. Avantasia, Forever Is a Long Time, with Yorny joining Tobias Sammet. And go. All right.
Cool.
Okay.
Yep.
Track 9. What we got?
Track 9. Okay, we're going to stay in Scandinavia. And we're going to go with Denmark's Volbeat.
Yeah.
Been mentioned before. Lee's a new convert to Volbeat. I don't. Do you like these, Dom? I can't remember.
I don't. Yeah, they're all right. They're
Right.
like a sevenfold for me as to you. I don't understand why they're so popular because they're weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They are.
But you know, I think they're fine. I've got a few things here and there that I listen to on occasion. But yeah, I just don't understand how they're so popular. I mean, I think the Metallica connection really helped them quite a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're an odd band,
They
but
are.
odd
They
good.
certainly are. They certainly are. It's certainly unique. I mean, you've got to be unique, haven't you, to stand out in this day and age. So
Agreed.
anyway, this is Beyond Hell, Above Heaven album. I think it's their 5th album. Don't quote me on that. Don't know. Can't remember. But I think this is the start when they started to try to be a little bit more commercial. And I mean, they've got a new album out now, which I do like, but the album before that, I didn't like at all. It's far too poppy, not heavy enough, because they have obviously got Metallica-esque riffs in there. They started sort of changing a little bit from this album onwards, but they have gone back to heavy now. Anyway, this song is A Warrior's Call, which is probably one of their most famous songs. Starts off with "Let's get ready to rumble," and it's got fight, fight, fight. You know, it's got that sort of stuff. It's a sing-along song. They always play it. Some great songs on this album. Fallen, $16, good song, and it's probably one of my favorite albums they've ever done. It's just a great song. You probably heard Warrior's Call, even if you don't think you've heard it. It's one of the ones of, I guess you'd say, a signature Volbeat song. But there you go, Warrior's Call from Volbeat.
Cheers, mate. Thank you very much.
All right.
Dom?
I would just like to put in just Udo's 70th birthday was a couple days ago, so that's a big one.
Oh yeah, saw that.
For Udo. But on his Facebook page, all day long there were video birthday messages from just a ton of musicians, and the guy from Volbeat did one, and Tobias Sammet did one as well.
Oh, cool.
So it's funny that the two of you, I just had to mention that. It was really cool to see all these people that love him around the world. They took the time to make video birthday greetings. But anyway, he doesn't have an album in 2010. Sorry.
No.
All right. So new band again. I didn't know much about these guys. They're called Black Robot. I was still working in the record store and stuff in 2010. So this is one of those that just came through that I just put on one day and didn't know anything about them. I really like it. The song is called Love on a 45, self-titled album. I guess it would be a bit stonery. The chorus reminds me of Monster Magnet a bit. Maybe, well, Monster Magnet could be quite melodic, so I'm not going to say it's more melodic than them, but yeah, just a great tune. I did a bit of research for the show, and it turns out it's one of the guitar players from the original incarnation of Buck Cherry. So Buck Cherry had 2 albums, and then they broke up for a while, and then they had a revamp lineup, and a few years later, but it was only the singer and the one guitar player. So this guy was in the original Buck Cherry. Sounds nothing like Buck Cherry, by the way. But yeah, just great hard rock, a bit stonery, as I say. But really good. Love on a 45 from Black Robot. I guess they have one more album after this, but I haven't heard it. So
cool.
There you go.
Thanks, mate.
Cool.
Well, my track 9, Alter Bridge. I'm going to get it out of the way. So this is probably, I think I did a top 15, 20 songs or something with my mate Kev, and this came in at number 2.
No, right. Cool.
Show Me a Sign. A proper, just so underrated song. I don't even know if they played it live. They might have played it once or something like that. It's just a fucking excellent song. Off of my favorite album of Alter Bridge, by the way. Alter Bridge AB3 is just brilliant. Heavy, emotional, just a fucking excellent song. This album's quite dark, this album altogether. Probably their darkest album. But Show Me a Sign, man. I mean, it's not one that people, when you say Alter Bridge songs, they don't even think about this one probably, and it's just amazing. It's got that real cool sort of slow to medium paced sort of song that I like, which makes it even heavier.
Tailor made for you, man. Sounds tailor made for you.
It's made for me, man. It's just a brilliant song. Auto Bridge, Show Me a Sign. It's fucking masterclass in songwriting and heaviness. Absolutely love it. There you go. Track 10, guys. Track 10.
Here we go. Right. I'm
Plate.
going for one that Dom's already mentioned. And that is The Damn Things with Ironic Last. I'll tell you what, I was absolutely obsessed with this album. It's unbelievable. I don't know if you've ever heard it, Lee, but it's I never, as Dom says, I don't know how you describe it. It's not like any other band I've ever heard. It shouldn't work with all the members that come together, but the album, it was fantastic. I couldn't stop playing. I was talking to my mates, play this, buy this, get this album. And luckily I saw him a couple of times at Download, and I think I saw him somewhere else as well. I haven't listened to the new album though, weirdly. I've got it, I haven't listened to it. Is it any good?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Very good. Yeah, if you love this one, you'll love that one. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Obviously Rob Canigio isn't in it anymore, is he? I don't think. From Anthrax, I think. Well, from Volbeat now, but I think he's left.
I don't know. Is he not on the second record? Maybe not.
I think I don't think he is. It's changed slightly, but it doesn't really matter. The singer's still the same. But yeah, I could have picked any song off this album. It's one of them situations where, I needed number 10. So I've gone with The Blues Having the Blues, which is number 10. I perhaps would have picked this, but like I say, every song is great on it. Little Darling, that's a great song if you want to get into the band to see what they sound like. Honestly, Lee, you've got to check this album out. It's brilliant. So there you go. The Damn Things.
Very cool.
Excellent.
Cool.
I knew that you had nodded your head when I had mentioned them in the past, but I didn't know that you were, that you love this album as much as you do. That's fantastic.
Yeah, but he nods his head when I say Journey, so I can't read him at all. I don't fucking know what he's thinking, Jam. So there you go.
I'm not going to sit there going like that. No, that's not my position.
No, that's shit. That's fucking shit. Yeah, cheers, man. Thanks for that. Okay, track 10.
I got a bit busy doing that. Okay. 10 is the band Halford. So it had been a while since Halford had made a solo record. He's back in Priest by this point. This album is called Made of Metal, and the song is Thunder and Lightning. The fourth album from Halford the band. Really strong album. I think it's probably their best one since the first one, I think. I don't think it did anything. I think a lot of people don't even know this record exists, to be honest, because everybody was so happy that he was back in Priest that, nobody really wants to hear him as but I like his solo career because it's different. He does different stuff. It's not, he doesn't do anything really stray. I would say it's more melodic hard rock than Priest. And I wouldn't even say it's like turbo. It's not even that keyboardy. I don't know. It's hard to describe, but it's just, it's just kind of basic hard rock, but it's great hearing him sing these songs. And I didn't really realize until I read this, looking at this for the show, that every album that the Halford band has been a steady lineup for the entire thing. I just thought it was him and just whatever players he got, but it's actually the same band that recorded Resurrection and all those, the live Resurrection, all those things. So yeah, he gets together with them every so often and makes new records. Cool. So Halford Made of Metal.
Cheers, mate. Cool. Thank you very much. Okay, my track 10, I'm going to the other release from Avantasia. This song's called Promised Land from the Angel of Babylon album. So yeah, the fifth album. It actually came out after the other one I was talking about the same year. It's got Yawny on it. It's got Yawn Londay on it.
Yawny again.
It's got Tobias. It's got Tobias Sammet on it.
Jam is if we're breaking some. He's got two albums by the same band, and he's got 3 songs with the same singer.
Impressive.
Is there some sort of rules that he's taking now?
Maybe.
You could be disqualified.
This is an excellent heavy, medium to fast-paced, chuggy track, and it's got Yawny on it. There you go. what more can I say? What more can I say? Yawn Londays on this one. Avantasia, Promised Land. Excellent. There you go. Track 11, guys. What we got?
Wow. Okay. Well, as I said to Lee just before we recorded, 11 and 12 tracks were actually no-brainers for me because they're my favourite tracks on the album. So it was quite good, which is unusual, isn't it? Usually we struggle. So I'm going to one of my favourite artists, and you know I'm a big fan, and that's Danzig, from the Death Red Sabaoth album. I think that's how you pronounce it. Who knows? Great album. As I say, Circle of Snakes was a great album. This album, the last album he did wasn't as good, but this is definitely worth checking out, Dom, if you've not checked out Later Danzig, which I think you said you were struggling with. But this song is called Left Hand Rise Above. It's fantastic. It's Danzig at his crooning, bombastic self. You know, he's singing his heart out. Heavy song, really slow, doomy. Brilliant stuff. It's probably one of my favorite Danzig songs, which obviously says a lot because obviously the earlier albums were where his best stuff was. But Left Hand Rise Above is great. But the whole album is great. Hammer of the Gods is what he usually starts his set with these days, which is from this album. Rebel Spirit, Juju Bone, On a Wicked Night. That's a great song.
Juju Bone.
Yeah, Juju Bone. Yeah. And this is like one of them Danzig songs where it builds up, it's epic, and then he goes into the sync chorus. It's fantastic. If you've never heard it, check out Left Hand Rise Above. And it's not one that I don't think he even played it because I think I saw him on this tour. I don't think he even played it, which is bizarre because I think it's the best song on the album by far. But there you go.
All right.
How to get Danzig in again? I mean, fucking hell.
Love Danzig.
Very cool indeed. Well, Dom, what you got for your penultimate track, mate?
Okay, 11 is the fantastic band Treat. This is their first album in 18 years.
Wow.
It's called Coup De Gras, and it's another kind of, we were talking about Crash Diet, classic album, Generation Wild, and Crazy New Religion, classic album. This is another one that's regarded as just front to back, just a fantastic return to form. And it really is. I probably could have picked multiple songs off this. God Bless Frontiers, because they kind of resurrected Treat. They had, as I said, it's first in 18 years. It's their 6th album overall. And Frontiers came to the rescue, and man, it really paid off in dividends. Fantastic album. I think it's probably my favorite of theirs. I still like what they've been doing since this, but this was just, they probably had just built up a vast catalog of songs and just picked the absolute diamonds from they had written over the years. So there you go. Treat, Coup De Gras. The name of the song is No Way Without You.
Very cool. I mean, I've just bought, just anyone who doesn't know, they just bought a new album out last Friday. So The End Game, I think it's called. So very good album as well. Carried on basically from that album onwards. Really high standard of songwriting, but I think you're right about that one being the top.
Something very special about it,
yeah, for sure. Very cool, mate. Okay, my track 11. Alan Londay.
No.
The song called Eternity from the album Showdown. So Russell Allen, Yawny Londay, right? Yawny Londay on this one, obviously, with Magnus Coulson on this. It's the 3rd album.
Get a room, you two. Get a room.
I told you there was a little bit of a theme going through my choices. Well, as soon as I started picking up that he's done a lot of stuff that year, I thought this would be fun to get Yawny on it as much as possible. So
are you tagging him in this video?
Well, I wish I think he's messaged me once, but I've messaged him about 700 times. He might have messaged me once, said thanks once. This is like this is an epic ballad, some orchestral parts.
An epic ballad even. That's pretty rare for you.
Epic ballad shock.
I've got to say though, this is the last Yawny song on my list today.
Okay.
Today.
We've only got one song left.
I know. So I think it might be the 5th one with him on. The only thing he didn't bring out was his Yawn album that year. He did everything else. So Alan Londe.
Thank Christ for that.
Eternity. It's fucking brilliant. There you go. Yawny.
I like him too. I like him too, but I'll never put him on one of these lists on this show because, I mean,
No point.
Anyway, track 12, guys. What we got?
Oh, you've locked up.
Track 12. What we got?
Right. I'm going for one. Sorry, I'm going for a comeback band, I guess. One that Dom, I think, will like. I presume he's heard this. And that's, in fact, you might have heard it as well, Lee. Stone Temple Pilots with their last recording, I guess, was Scott Whelan's self-titled album with the quite a cool cover with red and gold. I really like the cover of that. And this is my favourite track of the album. Track 12 is Maver, which is it's a ballad. It's a piano-led song, I guess you'd call it. It sort of builds up. It just showcases Scott's great vocals. I just always loved this song. I don't know what it is about it. Maver's a great track. I was lucky enough to see the Stone Temple Pilots with Scott Whelan, so I'm quite pleased about that, as well as seeing Velvet Revolver. So I'm glad I got to see him before he died. I mean, this album, when did he die? 2014? Something like that. Anyway. So it was a few years afterwards. But Maver's a great track. Just builds up. So it's piano led, really catchy, brilliant song. If you've perhaps overlooked it, and we all know that Stone Temple Pilots have done some great songs. I mean, they're perhaps not consistent with every single song, but they've done some great songs, and this is without doubt one of the better ones. Maver, to finish off my list.
Cool, great list, mate. Great list for the return of All Killer. What you got then, Dom?
Yeah. Okay, well, Lee's already beat me to the punch. This is Crazy Licks. The track I picked is Voodoo Woman. As you said, it's their second album, but also their first for Frontiers. So again, this is really when Frontiers had really made their mark, I think, was 2010 as a label that you can really trust for the most part. Crazy Licks again. New Religion is just a classic record. It really is. So many choices I could have made. But as you said, Crash Diet and Crazy Licks are kind of in the same. They're both making great music. They don't sound exactly alike, but they have the same influences. But what makes them alike is that they all have strong material, really great production and a great singer. And so everything I said about Crash Diet on number 4, I'd say about that. If you really like that 80s melodic rock, but it doesn't sound dated, Crazy Licks again is another one that makes just fantastic, classic, but not repetitive melodic rock. So there you go. Crazy Lick. Voodoo Woman is the track.
Excellent song to finish off on, mate. Excellent list, by the way. So absolutely superb. Right, my track 12 got Yawny Londe. No, not really.
No, it's not.
No.
No, I've gone to a classic band. It's weird. This album I didn't really like at the time, but I've sort of gone back since it was released and sort of listened to bits and pieces. It's a lot better than I thought at the time. It's the massive Scorpions. So the album was Stinging the Towel. It's a ballad, obviously, to finish off my list.
Of course.
The Best Is Yet to Come. It's called. Klaus Main, so it sounds absolutely amazing. And I love the new album, by the way. The new album is fucking excellent. I love it.
Quite like that Peacemaker song, is it? Peacemaker?
Peacemaker's good, but there's some real classic songs on it that sound like, classic Scorpions on that. This album not so much sounded like classic Scorpions, but this song I really like. It sounds like a classic ballad by them. It was the 17th album by Scorpions. Wow. It's just a really good ballad. I don't think there's another band that makes ballads like them, especially in that 80s period. I think they were fucking superb at writing ballads, but this is a good one as well. And that's basically my list. I ended with the Scorpions, so there you go.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Excellent.
Okay.
Good list there.
Yeah, it was. I enjoyed that. That was fucking brilliant. So, have any of you got any to mention quickly? Anything you might have missed off? What you got then, Jan?
I'm sure Jam does.
He definitely has. Look at him. He's raring to go. Yeah.
I am. No, I think most of them have been mentioned actually, but there's a few. Airborne, No Guts, No Glory album. No Way But the Highway, Raise the Flag, some good stuff on there. Didn't get anything on there. Annihilator, self-titled album. The Trend and Ambush, great songs. Couldn't quite fit him in. Ghost, as Don mentioned. I'd say I was into Ghost from the start. So, yeah, I won't mention a song, but I like that album. Hell Yeah, second album, Stampede. Or second or third album. It's got the Cowboy Way, a hell of a time on it. It's a good song. Iron Maiden, can't believe didn't get in there. I like The Final Frontier. It's maligned by some people, but I really like the intro. I love that Satellite 15 song personally and all that intro to it, a bit different. Mother of Mercy is a great song. Monster Magnet, Don mentioned as well. I'm a big fan of Monster Magnet. It's just I don't seem to ever make my list. I don't know why, but they released Mastermind with a great song called Dig That Hole on it. I love that song. Ozzy, Don mentioned. Rat Infestation's been mentioned. And then Rob Zombie, Hellbilly Deluxe 2 with it's got Sick Bubblegum on it and What. Some great songs on there. So that's
What
it.
is a great song, I have to say that. Yeah. One of my favorite Rob Zombie songs is What.
Yeah, great song. Yeah.
Cool. You got anything, Dom?
No.
There's a lot been mentioned, isn't there? There's a lot of fucking songs been mentioned on albums.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I do want to mention something. Master Plan and Yorn and Alan. No, I'm kidding.
The thing is with Yorn, I think some of his best stuff has been the stuff he appears on projects and stuff.
Yeah.
That is fucking brilliant. Anyway, I've got a couple, but didn't quite make the list. I've got the band Kill, K-E-E-L. They bought a comeback album out called The Streets of Rock and Roll. Kill. It's Ron Kill, isn't it?
Ron Kill, yeah.
So he brought out Streets of Rock and Roll, which was all right, but I don't think it quite hit the mark of his earlier stuff. Had some thrash out that year, and Overkill brought an album out, Ironbound. You also had Flotsam and Jetsam. They brought an album out as well. FM brought Metropolis out, which I sort of had them down. That would have been like if Yorn weren't so good that year, they definitely would have made it on it.
Sorry, FM. We had to have 4 Yorn songs.
and another band that was sort of coincide, probably not quite on the same level as Crash Diet and Crazy Licks, Wigwam. They brought out Non-Stop Rock and Roll that year as well, which was they're a really fun glam sort of band as well. I think that's about it. Firewind had an album out as well.
Oh,
yeah. So there was a lot of fucking music that year for sure. A lot of good stuff. You're really seeing. I'm starting to see countless fucking choices, so which is good. Guys, it's been excellent having you back.
We're back.
Absolutely brilliant. We are back. We're gonna.
The boys are back. The boys are back.
Obviously, you guys let us know your lists.
Yes, please.
Waiting with bated breath, obviously. And another mention quickly to Todd Boyle. He's yet to. He's got a few to go yet to get to here, but it must be. I mean, he must be sick of us now, mustn't he? Honestly,
I'm sick of it.
I think it's all he watches. I think he just watches us.
Hey, is your biggest fan commented again on yours and Mark's video?
Oh, fucking hell. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did. I read it, yeah.
That weren't very nice, was it? That weren't very nice, was it? We did
most
a Dokken.
People in the world, or something.
Yeah, Dokken versus Rat. Oh, I wish they would just get on with it. They're rambling on, and they don't know fuck all. And I sent it to Mark. He just laughed. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I'll have to look at that.
The thing is, it got loads of views.
It did,
yeah. So someone liked
it.
I
watched it, and I don't even know the album. I thought it was good.
It was Under Lock and Key versus Invasion of Your Privacy.
Yeah,
that was the
no contest there. No contest.
Yeah, it's fun. The funny thing is, I sent it to a Dokken fan site, and I sent it to a Rat site. Well, you can imagine, can't you? No one actually went on the Rat site. Well, Dokken is actually the better album.
I mean, it's a great record, but come on.
Well, yeah, but in fact, for both of us, Invasion of Your Privacy won. So there you go.
Okay, well, good. I'm glad to hear.
Spoiler alert! Fucking hell, you've ruined your own video.
It's all right because that bloke knows better. We're boring fuckers that don't know fuck all. There you go. All right then, guys. Thank you very much for joining me. we're gonna get together with 2011 quite quick, hopefully, and I'll see you next time. Any got anything for the viewers?
Thanks for sticking around. I hope you
Yeah,
enjoyed
thanks.
the
Yeah, hopefully
return.
we'll get 150 views as normal. Get everyone back again.
Triumphant return.
No,
Yeah.
we're gonna get more than that, mate. It's gone round that we're back.
Cool.
There you go.
Good. Yeah.
All right.
Stick all your lineups down there.
Thanks, then, guys, and I'll see you soon.